Thanks for asking. Hope you're doing the same.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for asking. And 1 second, I don't have the access to share my screen yet.
Yeah, one
Um,
second, Nikita. I'm making you host. Just a minute. Yeah, yeah,
okay. So is it up now?
yeah. It's done. You can give it a try.
Yes. Yeah, great. I'm able to share my screen. Thank you. So guys, let me know once my screen is visible to you.
Yeah, it's visible.
Sure, sure.
So, just a quick introduction about me. So, hi everyone, this is Nikita, and I am an automation test lead and also a test architect in a reputed company, and where I will be handling the entire process of QA automation from the end to end, from drafting, from gathering the test cases which are applicable for the testing, automation testing, drafting the entire test scenarios using Playwright and Python, and then integrating that with GitHub and then CI/CD. And with the CI/CD, I have also made use of multiple tools like GitLab and GitHub Actions, Jenkins, and later on, I am also uh, uh, I also took a major part in providing the sign-offs for the test cases for the release perspective. Okay. So I also started my career as a manual tester, and then I have upgraded myself into the automation by learning multiple tools and also, by switching multiple companies as well. So here are the tools which I have worked on so far. Earlier, I worked with Selenium using the Java, and then Selenium using the Python using a robot framework. I also did the mobile automation using the Appium, making use of robot framework again with Python. Okay. And later, I have moved towards the Cypress using JavaScript and Playwright using JavaScript and Playwright using Python. Okay. And we recently we have started working on Codesep.js, and then I have also completed my I have also made use of API testing using the automation, and I also did the DB testing using the automation. So practically, I have worked on all the fields like UI, APIs, DB, and also mobile testing part. Okay. And for these automation tools, I have made use of, I worked on page object model, behavior data driven, and CI/CD, and I made use of GitLab and GitHub Actions. This is a quick introduction about me, guys. So I hope you already have a brief understanding about the tools we have in the market for automation testing, correct? And Playwright is one of the major one, and it is booming right now. So before I proceed forward, can I have a quick introduction about you? Because I just wanted to understand my audience so that I can formulate my teaching in that manner. Okay, let's please introduce about yourself. Anyone volunteers who wants to begin first? No volunteers?
Hi, Nikita. Preeti this side.
Hello, Preeti.
Yeah, I'm working as a Scrum Master in one of the organizations. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's been a year, like working as a Scrum Master, knowing the team, the mindset of the team, and what's the
That's
technology they are using as well. So, yeah,
nice.
looking forward to know more about all this one so that
Okay,
I can improve my skills and the growth as well.
that's true.
Yeah.
So, did you get the chance of writing the manual test cases earlier? Have you ever
No,
worked on
no,
testing?
no, 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 no.
No. Okay, good
Yeah.
to know.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the other guy, so you have the experience in testing? Let's do one thing. You can directly raise your hand. Like, I'll ask a question. So, if you already have experience on the testing, please raise your hand. Here, do we have the option of raising the hand? Or you can drop the same in the chat. So I assume that everyone here knows, apart from Preeti, knows the manual testing. Okay. So, do you guys have any experience on exposure towards the automation testing before?
Hi Nikita, this is Shiva here.
Hello, Shiva.
Yeah, I worked as a software quality analyst. Basically, worked in mostly of the work in regression testing only. I
Oh,
have
wow.
few
Okay.
understanding about Selenium and UFT automation.
Oh, nice. Okay. You
Yeah,
worked with both Selenium and UFT.
yeah, I worked with UFT, but I
Mhm.
know Selenium. I'm practiced in my personal PC. Not get
Okay,
chance to
okay.
work.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good to hear, Shiva.
yeah, thank you.
So, okay. Let me start sharing my screen again. So, guys, so why do you think we need automation now? Because you are, uh, yeah. So now, before I go there, I'll explain you my main objective of today's class, and I just wanted to give you a brief understanding around the testing concepts we have and why do we need a playwright, and inside the playwright, why do we need a Python? I mean, what is the need of a language when we already have a playwright, and why should we pick a playwright, and why should we pick Python in the current market, and what are the salaries and the career opportunities we have here in India? I Okay, and then my course structure for the next couple of 40 hours. So, what would be my course structure? What am I going to deliver as part of this session? I will explain you thoroughly today. Okay, now, so, what is the main use of automation here? In since we already are, we know like there are many automation tools, and we are hearing that automation is a career, and we are hearing that the manual testers should also know the automation, and there are like much more of a noise in the market. So, why do we need an automation, and why it has become essential in the today's world? Because let's assume test cases like let's assume there is a project which is having a complex flow, like when you are taking a banking project, when we from the state of logging a user, in creating a user, till the the entire lifetime of the user, like what kind of cards it is applicable to her to him based on the group he belongs to, and under which region he is in, and they're like, if you have understood, if you have some IT experience, you will be understanding that there is a complete complex algorithms like the banking projects will be having. Okay, not only in the banking projects, so in our real day-to-day projects also, if we take an Amazon website, in order to place the product into the shopping cart, it has to go through a certain levels, right? First we need to have a login username and password for the Amazon, and later we have to see whether the user is getting logged in properly or not, and then we have to search for the iPhone or any other product you want. First you need to search for the product, and then you have to add the product into the cart, or you need to add that into our wish list, and then adding the product into the cart, we need to validate whether the details like the product name and the amount it is showing me and everything, is it proper or not, and then we will be proceeding with the checking out by providing our address and then the bank details, if it is a cash on if you want to pay the cash there, or you have to opt for the cash on delivery, and everything till the checkout, right? So these process, if you're doing it once, it is fine. But let's say whenever there is a release, you have to do an end-to-end or end-to-end testing. So each time doing all these process may take close to around, let's say, 50 minutes of our time, like 1 hour of our time. And when we are doing it, there are a chances of missing few details, right? Because we are not only we don't have a time to only test a single task. We will be asked to test multiple tasks simultaneously. So when you are handling multiple tasks, there is a chance of missing a minute details while execution, while doing a manual testing. So when you are dealing a complex task, and when there are like multiple scenarios to test, instead of a human doing it, if I ask an automation part like a Playwright or a Selenium to do it, then what happens? Without my intervention, the testing will get completed, and I can directly see the result, and I can share the result across my leadership also. Correct? So first thing, it will make my execution, my release a bit faster, because whenever a release, now everyone are moving towards agile model. So every 2 to 3 weeks there is a chance of having a release. So every 2 to 3 weeks, I will have to do the entire process of Amazon checkouts, right? So these things, in order, instead of doing it, if an automation does that, if I take 1 hour, it will be taking just 10 minutes for the execution. If an automation does that, it will take 10 minutes, and the execution quality will be proper, because automation will never lose the ends which which man can do. We are tend to make errors during our execution, but if automation does that, the accuracy and the quality will be higher. So first thing, the faster execution, because it is cutting down the efforts of my 50 minutes to 10 minutes, and then it improves the accuracy, because the automation tends to make less mistakes, and reusability of the test. See, after writing the code, we just have to run, right? So in a day, you can trigger it multiple times. You can trigger 10 times or 20 times. It will continue to do the testing without any issue, because it will never get tired like us. Best coverage. The coverage again depends on you, like how you code the test cases. So it provides us a better coverage, and it supports the CI/CD pipelines. I will also explain you what is a CI/CD in the today in the session. I mean, not in the today's session, in our course. And then it is a cost effective and a long term, because it is replacing a manual tester, guys. So a 10 people job, only a two automation testers will be able to complete a 10 manual testers job, with regards to the regression, not for the functional. And enables frequent releases, because we keep on automation can keep on we can keep on executing test cases as many as times possible. And since for each test case, if we take a 1 hour of the time, it is just completing in 10 minutes. So in a day, you can trigger close to hundreds of test cases. Okay. And so which again improves the finding the test bugs easily, and uh, it will find the bugs way quicker than us, because it is just taking 10 minutes of our time to execute the test cases, right? So the developers will get handful of a time to fix the issues, and then for me again, I can trigger the run as soon as they fix the issue and they deployed that code into the into the testing environment. I can again trigger the automation and can verify directly whether that is proper or not. So that improves the productivity. Consistency is nothing but we can repeatedly do the same test cases execution, and scalability is we can trigger these test cases when if you are choosing Playwright. You can trigger the same in Linux environment, you can trigger in Windows, and you can trigger in Mac, you can trigger in mobile spaces as well. Okay. So different devices you can work on, different browsers also you can work on it. So there are like uh, these many of uses we have it with the automation. So that's the reason why every project is moving towards the automation. On currently there are close to already 90% of the projects are using any one of the automation tools out there. We have Selenium, Playwright, Cypress, and UFT, Protractor. There are like many out there, and the most majorly booming is Playwright right now. We'll see why it is booming. Okay. So now I'll move towards why Playwright. So why? Because we already know Selenium used to be the very high in demand tool. So why everyone are moving from Selenium to Playwright? Because Selenium, when you are installing the Selenium, whenever you are trying to use it, the setup will be a bit huge, you know. If you are dealing with the Java, you have to download the Selenium jar files, and whenever you are creating the framework also, it will be a bit huge. And It doesn't support API automation. It doesn't directly Selenium doesn't support mobile automation as well. And even the CI/CD pipeline integration, it will be very complex. Well, with the Playwright, it is very lightweight. So consider Selenium as a TV, like the old model TV, a Dabba one, like which will be having a huge setup to installation. And the Playwright is a smartphone, it's a smart TV. Okay, and both have its own set of uses. And Playwright, if someone is choosing an automation tool now, then they are going towards a Playwright. The industry is moving towards a Playwright because the setup is very easy with the Playwright, and it has an auto wait mechanism. It means if we open a browser and if we try to log into the Amazon website, let's say if I go to www.amazon, and then it will the Playwright will automatically wait for the page to get completely loaded before we try to log in and try to provide our password and then click on the login button. Before it throw me an error, it will wait for 30 seconds. Well, the Selenium will not have a auto waiting mechanism. It will not wait for the elements to be displayed on the screen. It will directly throw me an error if it doesn't see any element on the UI. Okay, so it has an auto wait mechanism, and we can parallelly, simultaneously, let's say in your project you have 200 test cases, and triggering in each, let's assume each test case is taking 10 minutes of the time. If you have to trigger 200 test cases, then it will be 2000 minutes of our time. It means if we trigger one after the other, with the Playwright we can directly trigger 20 to 30 test cases at a time parallelly. Okay, let's say like in this 200 test cases, if I want my testing to happen with 20 test cases at a time, so 20 browsers will get opened and 20 test cases will get triggered simultaneously. So now the testing time of the overall 200 test cases will get divided by 20. Within an hour, I will be able to complete my 200 test cases execution. I don't have to wait 2000 seconds because of parallel execution. Cross platform, you can trigger that in your normal applications. You can trigger it in the cloud. You can also trigger in the mobile emulation module also. Okay, it means you can directly update the resolutions of your browser easily. And yeah, as I said earlier, Selenium doesn't have the API integration, API testing in it. But the Playwright, it will directly support the API, so no heavy setup needed. Okay, guys, you got the uses of the Playwright, a brief about it. Whatever I told earlier, so I have a complete slide about it, because even in the interviews, they will ask, why do we need a Playwright? What is the difference you have seen with the Playwright and the Selenium? So you can directly explain them these content. You can say them that Selenium, compared to the Selenium, Playwright automation is fast. Okay, Playwright is fast and it has an auto wait mechanism. Selenium doesn't has an auto wait. Auto wait is nothing but it before clicking, before throwing me an error of, let's say, one element is not visible on the screen. I'm on an Amazon website and it is trying to sign in. So for the sign in, I need to have a username, right? Username field. So uh, if my page doesn't have a username, Selenium directly throws an error saying that no such element. But Playwright, before throwing an error, it will wait for 30 seconds and then it will throw me an error saying that the element is not visible on the screen. So there is this kind of auto wait mechanism. It will wait for 30 seconds each time before throwing an error, because we never know in that 30 seconds the element may get loaded properly and the automation can see it and type it, right? So it will provide that variance. Network mocking, this is a very helpful advantage we have with the Playwright. Network mocking is nothing but, see, consider I'm in India and I have opened my Amazon website in India location. Okay, let's say if I want to stay in India, but my Amazon should mock the America URLs. I mean, it want to work on the America browser. Even that is possible with the Playwright. We can change the locations of our browser as well by staying in the other locations. Parallel execution, it means we can trigger uh, tens of test cases at a time, easy use, and browser support. It supports the Safari as well, and stability for the Playwright. It is excellent. See, consider Playwright as a smart TV, and Selenium is a base version. So, since the Playwright already before inventing the Playwright, customers already know what are the drawbacks we have with the Selenium. So, what a Playwright developers did, they collected those drawbacks and they directly they improved a new tool. They have created a new tool which has some more advantages over the base Selenium. Okay, guys. So now you have some basic understanding about the differences about the Playwright. So Playwright or Selenium, these both does the same thing. It will automate the browsers, it will automate the APIs and all. But they Playwright has certain more advantages over Selenium. So that's the reason why Playwright is booming in the market. Okay, I'll take a minute pause here so that you will be able to understand the screen before I move towards the Python. Why do we need Python? And any questions, please raise. The sessions will be completely interactive, so you don't have to think about anything. You can directly ask the questions right away in the call.
Hi Nikita, I have a doubt. I really appreciate your demo. So I might have to leave the meeting. So before I'm leaving, I just have a one query.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
yeah,
see,
okay.
I'm working as a Scrum Master. I want to grow more like a in a project
Mhm.
management, like a project manager, program manager, or PO as well. So I just
Mhm.
wanted to know, the way you have explained, like a testing part. So
Mhm.
like like a product owners who, do testing also. So is it the same one, the one you are explaining, like a UAT testing? You says so. Does it the
Uh,
same? Sounds good.
so for the product management movement, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is it helpful for me? So
It
how it
would be,
goes?
it will be like here we are concentrating completely on the Playwright automation testing. Okay. So what happens whenever the automation testers are completed in the coding, the product, see, if I am hired to a project, my responsibility is to complete the automation coding, right? So once I leave it, it will be in the hand of the project managers or the product owners. So they will be responsible of handling these automation suits. Okay, so there will be a requirement for you to trigger them and also to fix the issues. Instead of coding it in a end to end, they will be requesting you to fix the issues and update the scripts whenever needed. So in that manner, it will be helpful for you. So for that, you should have the knowledge of Playwright.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to help. Okay. So if we have no other questions, then I'll go to the slide. Why do we need Python?
Nikita, Shiva here.
Hi, Shiva.
Nikita, yeah.
Mm.
Currently, everyone is asking
Mm.
to the AI how it
Mm.
supports AI and how it differs.
Yeah.
Uh,
It, yeah. So AIs, we have like multiple AIs. Okay. One, the majorly used and the 99% of the projects use GitHub Copilot. Okay. And then the 1% are MCP servers using cloud coding. So we are covering both these in our coming sessions. So what is a GitHub Copilot is, it will directly suggest you, like if you give a command inside our Visual Studio, it will provide you the code of what how and what to be written. Okay, I have a sample project, so in the end I'll show you the current project I have in my laptop, so it will be easy for you to understand. So we are covering both those two in our sessions also. So in the coming slides you will see what are the contents I'm covering as part of my session.
Sure, Nikita. Thank you.
Yeah. And now I'll proceed forward to the next slide. So why do we need Python? So guys, here is a quick update. So whenever you're choosing a tool, let's suppose Selenium. So when you're choosing Selenium, it supports see whatever the automation tool you're picking. Let's say it is Selenium or Concept or this Playwright or UFT or anything. It needs a language to bind the automation methods together. Okay, so the using of it and everything, we need a language, a coding language. So there are like many coding languages out there. We have Java, we have JavaScript, we have TypeScript, we have Python, and we have VB, C sharp, and all in the market, right? So why the Playwright with the Python is very important in the market? So this will continue to boom, guys, because Python, if you see about our earlier question, like AI, everyone are using the AI. So how does this AI is being built by using the Python? Only Python supports the AI now. So whenever any project is moving towards the AI, they would want their developers to use a Python as their coding language. The developers need a coding language, right? So if they want the AI to be integrated AI based, if it's an AI based project, then they have to use a Python to code their applications. And if the developers are using the Python, then as the project owners or the BAs or the clients, to reduce the cost of the project, they would want the testers also use the same language to code their testing, so that whenever the BAs or whenever the developers even wants to see the automation scripts, it will be easy for them to understand whatever you have written in for the automation test cases. Okay, so with the increase of the AI market, the Python will continue to boom it. And if you compare with the other languages like Java or JavaScript or TypeScript or any other tools, any other languages, Python will be very beginner friendly. You know, it won't have that complex syntaxes. It won't be that complex to understand. It will be very easy. Okay, and if you see the present market, the Playwright Python has a massive community when compared with the JavaScript or Java, and the market will continue to the boom. Now coming to the course, so this is a brief introduction about the Playwright and the Python and what are their importance in the market. Okay, so now I'll cover what are the sessions, like what are the topics we are going to have in the coming session and what are the main objective of this class. Okay, so first I'll explain you about the basics of the Python, because as I said earlier, in order to use Playwright, you should know Python. So you don't need it in a 100% excellent level. Okay, for the testers, for the automation testers, we just need the basic understanding about it, like what are the variables, what are the data types, operators, and constructors along. Okay, so we will be spending close to 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours. Okay, it may get extended also only on the Python basics, and we will make sure like you will be able to create proper methods and functions in Python. So once we are good with the Python basics, I will be helping you understand about Playwright, the concepts, the practical understanding of the Playwright. Okay, and inside that I will explain you how to identify the locators and how do we interact with how does the Playwright interact with the browser, how do we type something inside the browser and all. And we will also see API automation using a Playwright. We are also seeing database automation using the Playwright, and we will also be seeing how to emulate the browsers, for the mobile versions. Now, once we have the Playwright code ready, once we know the concepts of the Playwright, in the industry, we don't even like, we just can't do the automation testing by just knowing the Playwright or a Python. In order to bind everything, we need a framework. Framework is nothing but where do you want to write your test cases, like how do you want to trigger the execution. Okay, so these are called as framework, and I will be explaining you the complete page object model using the PyTest, and I will explain you the basics of BDD as well. because there are certain frameworks available in the market. One, the majorly used is page object model. Two, it is BDD model. And three, we have keyword driven and everything. So those are not that mandatory, but the majorly used in the market are page object model and BDD. So I will be explaining you about the page object model and also the complete practical. We will be creating many test cases inside a page object model, and later on I will explain you the high level introduction on the BDD so that you will have both the framework understanding. And we will be seeing the PyTest and also how to get the data. See, when we are dealing with the testing, the data, we should get it either from the JSON files, CSV files, Excel files, and how do we get the data from those files also we will be seeing in our coming sessions. And parallel execution, I have explained you multiple advantages in the before previous slides, right? How do we do the parallel execution, how do we execute that in the API, how do we do the API automation, how do we do the database, everything we will also be covering it. And I have allotted close to 5 hours for only the data driven and parallel execution. And then we will be seeing MCP servers, like what you told about the AIs, right? So we will be seeing MCP servers and cloud coding, and we will be seeing here itself about the GitHub Copilot and API testing UI, network mocking, browser stack and Lambda test. How do we do that using Playwright? How do we connect with the Lambda test? We will be seeing about the Docker containers, GitHub actions, I mean CI/CD setup. We will be seeing that too, and I'll make sure you have a proper flow about the GitHub also, because once we have the code ready in your local, everyone has to push their code inside the GitHub. Okay, 99% of the projects are using GitHub. So I will make sure like you guys has a proper hands-on on the GitHub on how to push the code, how to get the code from the GitHub on a day-to-day basis, and what is GitHub and why do we need it. Everything we will be covering it. Okay, and in the end, I will help you to build your resume based on the content we have completed, like based on the understanding of the Playwright and the concepts we have covered. I will help you to build the resume, and I will help you to understand the interviews also. We will be conducting close to 3 to 4 hours alone on the interviews. I'll keep on explaining you all the interview questions we have and what are the answers, possible answers we can provide for that, so that the interviewer will be having some confidence on you before they hire you into their company. Okay, so these are the coverage which I'm planning to provide. And here you will be understanding how to debug a code, how to do a visual testing, BDD, hybrid testing, and all. And so that is the basic about the coverage I'm going to give it, guys. So do you want me to add anything? I'm happy to do it apart from these. So this covers the entire Playwright with Python concepts. Okay, we are covering AP, not only the UI testing, we are covering the API testing, we are covering the DB testing as well, and we are covering GitHub and CI/CD, cloud execution too, along with AI integration. Okay, we will share this content to you also, and so you can have a quick look about the course content. We have it now. So for me to provide you the content about all the details which I have mentioned earlier, and for you to have a proper hands-on on the Playwright using the Python, we are going to conduct close to a minimum of 40 hours training. Okay, it will be close to 40 hours, and you will be having 100% hands-on, and along with that, here we are covering close to 28 concepts, guys. So if you have a proper understanding, if you gain the proper understanding of my classes, then you will be in a top, you will be in a top hiree in the market, because I guarantee you, I don't think most of them still have the knowledge on how to use the MCP servers or how to integrate that with the CI/CD, because every time Some DevOps guy will be handling it. QA testers will not get a proper chance of doing it, but it will be asked in the interview, even though you don't work it. So I will help you to understand it in an end-to-end manner so that each and every topic, wherever the interviewer will be asking you, you will be able to provide the answers. Okay, so total we are covering 28 concepts in 40 hours. By the end of the session, what are the roles you will be able to apply is automation test engineer. You can apply for the roles which is having SDET titles in it. You can say that you are a Python automation engineer. You can say that Playwright engineer, and you can also say that QA automation analyst. Okay, so these are the roles for which you will be able to apply at the end of the session. And the salary ranges. So if you are a fresher, you can go from 5 to 8 lakh package. And if your experience ranges from 3 to 5 years, then these are the package ranges the market is offering at the moment. It can have some variance of 2 to 3 lakhs above or below, but this is a market range. We can assume it is in the market, because couple of my friends or me, uh, we whoever comes in the bracket, we are being offered with these level of packages. Okay, yeah, any questions? In the meantime, I'll just pull up the demo project which I already have in my Visual Studio, and I'm going to use Visual Studio for our coding IDE. For the Playwright or Python to be returned somewhere, we need to have a IDE. So for that, I'm using Visual Studio. Okay, so this is a page object model, guys. And the login, let me collapse all the files here. Okay, so these are the test cases. And my earlier batch, they had a sound experience understanding on the test data. So I have used API file, JSON files, and CSV files, and we have Excels, we have Excel, JSON, CSV. From this, we are getting the data into our test cases. Okay, see, I'm getting a username from somewhere, I'm getting password from somewhere instead of hard coding inside this data. And coming to your earlier question regarding GitHub Copilot, so click on the chat message here if I want to. Okay, so here, two ways. Do a control I. You can directly ask a question. Can you write a test case for login? See, it directly provided me the code. So how can we use this GitHub Copilot? So by using GitHub Copilot, okay. So how to use this GitHub Copilot and how to integrate that into your Visual Studio also, we have an entire session covered for that. You can ask it here, or I'll undo this. You can also type it here. Can you provide code for login? Okay, this is a chat window. You can directly interact it. It will read the file and it will provide the data directly. Okay, see, it has provided me the data. So whatever the things I want, I can directly copy it and paste it. So this is a traditional Copilot. We have test cases, there are like many of them. Swagger, file usages, everything. Okay. and Lambda test, Docker, everything. Okay. So now I'll stop sharing my screen, and if you have any questions, please do. Feel free to ask.
Hi, Nita. This Copilot is a free or we have to purchase
No, it is
credentials?
free. The credentials are main, but it's a free tier. But the limits in a month, there's a limit, for the free. It will be able to suggest you close to 200 lines of a code in a month. So if you want to increase that suggestions, if you want to increase the lines of code, then we need to pay it. Till
Okay.
certain range, it is free.
Yeah, okay. What type of interview support you are giving? You are providing any question and answer type?
Yes.
Mm,
Yeah, we will be providing the entire, like, post the each and every class. I will be sharing the questions, what the possible questions around the topic. And if you have any doubts, or if you feel like something is missing, if you want to revisit few topics, we will be covering in the next class. And by the end of the session, the normal mock interview concepts, so that we will be having a separate mock interviews. You will be able to be confident to understand the questions and to ask it.
So you are planning for any mock interviews or
Yeah. But mock interviews will be held in the end of the session.
okay. Nita, how far this Copilot in future? Actually, things are changing very rapidly, right? Nowadays.
Co-pilot, yeah. That's good. So
Yes.
co-pilot, every project wants you to use a co-pilot. And
No, no, no. Sorry, I'm asking for this Playwright.
replacing. Sorry, can you reframe the question again? I was.
How far we look into our career in this Playwright?
Oh, but the playwright.
Yeah.
Playwright is practically booming, guys. So let me try to fetch some Google Trends.
Okay.
Yeah. See, if you are still stuck with the Selenium, I would say trending now. One second. Explore. Mhm. Yeah. So earlier, Selenium was booming, and now going forward, so let's say out of 100 projects, everyone are looking for 85% of the projects are looking for the playwright. Okay. So in the future also, playwright will continue to boom it because it has the higher ability to integrate with GitHub copilots or any other AI tools, so which will make the things very quick. See, everyone wants the test cases to code it in a quick manner, right? So the playwright has the required plugins to make the execution quick. So playwright will continue to boom it even though if the AI is replacing something.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, that's
Thanks.
the reason why playwright has the higher salaries when compared to all other automation tools.
Okay.
But good question. So I feel like if you're choosing a playwright, you will have some highly demand skill in the background. So you won't never get dry with the job markets. Any questions, guys? Please feel to ask. No worries with that. Okay. So if no other questions, then thank you everyone for joining, and we are done with the session today.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nikita, for a wonderful session.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you.
hosting it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Nita.